Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Welcome to Game Time with Hubb, your all-access pass to the hottest stories in football, basketball, boxing, and wrestling. Whether it's game-winning touchdowns, buzzer beaters, knockout punches, or jaw-dropping suplexes, we've got it all covered. Here's your host, Hubb.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Game Time with Hubb. Man, look, I took a week off to relax, recharge. I needed it. I went to Philly, checked out Unrivaled basketball on January 30th, which was last Friday. Had a great time, 2 great games. And listen, y'all, women's basketball is on the rise. If you haven't checked out Unrivaled, do yourself a favor and tap in. Every Friday through Monday on TNT, True TV, and also I believe HBO Max. I think they call it Max now. It's the same thing. I was a part of history that night. Over 21,000 in the stands. Arena was lit in Philly, man, over at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Shout out to my brother for hooking me up with those VIP parking passes, man. You know, get me front row from the door to the car. You know what I mean? No extra walking, no nothing. So, you know what I mean? We wrapped up the Unrivaled on Friday night. Then last Saturday afternoon, we had the Royal Rumble, you know, from Saudi Arabia. Liv Morgan took it in the women's Rumble. Roman Reigns won the men's. So now we're officially on the road to WrestleMania. Raw got heated up on Monday. Big segment with Roman Reigns, CM Punk. So those two is going to collide in Vegas for WrestleMania 42. And then Saturday night, big fight vibes. Shakur Stevenson took Teofimo Lopez to school. And if y'all was thinking otherwise, man, look, Shakur proved to the world that he pound for pound one of the best fighters in the game right now, especially now since Terrence Bud Crawford had retired. Shout out to Bud on a hell of a career. Right now, all eyes is on Shakur. We're going to see what's next for him. So, yeah, we'll be back to talking wrestling, boxing, and basketball soon. But now it's time to wrap up the unpredictable 2025 NFL season because this thing comes down to a Super Bowl pairing not many would have predicted. You know, the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams missed the playoffs last year. Now they're going head-to-head Sunday night, tomorrow night, Super Bowl 60. Seattle's been one of the most balanced, dangerous teams in the league. Firepower in every phase. New England's offense has leveled off a bit in the postseason, but that defense has stepped up with 3 big-time showings. You know, so what's the question here? Does Sam Darnold finally shake the old ghost, or do the upstart Patriots and Drake Maye pull off the upset? And if this game is even half as good as the last time these teams met on this stage, Brady versus the Legion of Boom, then, you know, we're in for a good one. Now, for our quick season update, we went 1-1 on championship weekend. You know, I had the Patriots and the Rams. So, you know, the Rams, they lost to the Seahawks. Now, that moves my season total to 190, 93-1. That's 67.1%. Man, look, we had one heck of a year, y'all. I appreciate y'all for riding with me all season long. Whether you cashed out some tickets or just learn more football, that's the goal. I take pride in breaking down the all 22 every week on every team so I can bring y'all real breakdowns, not just hot takes. Now, we got one more to go, man. And this one is for all the marbles, you know, Super Bowl 60 here. And since it's one game, we're breaking it down a little different than normal. More angles, more keys, more matchups. Then we get to the pick. All right? So let's lock it in, man, and cook this Super Bowl 60 game here. You already know what time it is, man. It's game time, baby. All right, like we did before, you know what I mean? We got our playoffs scenario segment. And it's simple because there's no game next week. This is it. We're at the end of the line here. So for Seattle, the scenario is, look, control the game. If that happens, if their defense gets pressure without blitzing, their secondary keeps everything in front, and Darnold plays clean, no freebies. If Seattle forces Drake Maye into long yardage and keeps him behind the chains, this can tilt Seattle's fast. Now, scenario B over here for New England, they got to drag Seattle into a bar fight, simply put. This happens if the Patriots defense wins the turnover battle, heats Darnold up with pressure packages, and the Patriots offense leans on a run game plus quick throws to survive. In the Super Bowl, it always comes down to the same 3 things: protect the football, win the trenches, and convert on third down. Now let's get into this breakdown. Now let's get into this breakdown. We got Super Bowl 60 representing the NFC is the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots representing the AFC. Live from Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. 6:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff on NBC. Now, this matchup is compelling because it's strength on strength in different ways. Seattle's been a definition of balance, explosive ability, defense that can dictate terms, and a team that can win multiple styles. They've been dominant against almost everybody except the Rams. Now, for New England, offensively, they cooled off a bit in the playoffs, but the defense has been the equalizer, and they play like a unit that can win you a championship. So the big headline is simple. Can Drake Maye get back to regular season form? And can Sam Darnold play disciplined football against a defense that's peaking at the right time? Now, some of my things that I think that's going to decide this game, I'm looking at number one, Drake Maye versus Seattle's defense in the chess matchup up front. Drake Maye had a terrific regular season and made himself an MVP candidate. 4,394 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 72% completion rate. But in the playoffs, he's been a different quarterback. 533 passing yards, 55.8% completion rate, and 5 giveaways in 3 postseason games. Protection has been worse. The receivers aren't making as many plays. And yes, Drake Maye's dealt with a right shoulder injury, but he says it won't be an issue come Sunday night. Now, here's the thing. Seattle's defense is built to make your life miserable without sending the house. They're well-balanced, standout players on all 3 levels, and Drake Maye is going to have to be sharp with his decision-making. The lifeline for New England is Drake Maye's legs. In the playoffs, he's scrambling about 8 times for 47 yards a game. That's a higher rate than his regular season. If Seattle bottles up the receivers, Maye can still manufacture offense with movement. So I'm expecting Josh McDaniels to do a few things early. Give Drake Maye easier reads, get Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Pop Douglas involved. Lean on the run game to keep Seattle honest. But the big question is, how many downfield shots can they really take? Because attacking deep has been less effective for New England in the postseason, and longer development plays can mean extra hits, sacks, and possible turnovers. And yeah, there might be opportunity to test Tyreek Woolen and Josh Jobe, but only if Drake Maye's blocking holds up. So, if Maye stays upright and avoids the giveaway, New England's alive. Number 2, I'm looking at Darnold's history versus New England and the Patriots' postseason defense. If there's one opponent that defined Darnold's early career struggles, it's New England. He's 0-3 versus the Patriots as a Jet, 0-1 as a Panther. And in those games, he threw 1 touchdown and 9 interceptions. And we all remember the low point, that infamous 2019 game where it looked like he was completely rattled. I'm seeing ghosts. 11-32, 86 yards, 4 interceptions. That was against the Bill Belichick's defense. But the last 2 seasons, Darnold has been a different player. 30 combined wins, including the playoffs, and he's played turnover-free football in the past 3 contests. He threw 14 interceptions this season, but here's the detail. 6 of them came against the Rams. Now, the Patriots' defense is not getting enough respect. They've held their past 5 opponents, including 3 playoff games, to 16 points or fewer. They forced 8 takeaways and posted 12 sacks in 3 playoff games. And they're limiting explosive plays. In the playoffs, they only allowed 2 plays longer than 20 yards and only 1 run longer than 10 yards. So Darnold's mission is simple. Be patient, take the easy money, don't force hero throws, because New England's path is sack you, steal one, and make you pay. Seattle's offensive formula needs to stay intact. Mixing the run game with Kenneth Walker III, take the intermediate and deep shots to Jackson Smith-Njigba and Rashid Shaheed, and using tempo to help Seattle get the personnel looks they want and keep New England's defense off balance. If Darnold plays clean, Seattle puts the Patriots in constant must-convert mode. Number 3, Patriots offensive line versus Seattle's rush. This could be the pressure point of the game here. This is a matchup I keep circling as I keep looking at the all-22s for both teams. Seattle's rush versus the left side of New England's line. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Murphy II and company, and that group can wreck games. New England's rookies, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, came back late from injuries and have struggled at times, especially Campbell, especially in pass protection. And Drake Maye has been sacked 5 times in each of the last 3 playoff games. Seattle's one of the best pass rush outfits in the NFL. Lawrence leads a 4-man edge rotation that helped generate the 4th highest pressure rate in 2025 without blitzing at the 8th lowest rate. And don't forget about Byron Murphy II, 46 pressures this season, second on Seattle. And Seattle has had 5 defenders with 40-plus pressures. New England's counter, it has to be heavy sets, extra tight ends, fullbacks, extra linemen, but the trade-off is fewer receivers on routes. And yes, they'll stick with the backfield duo of Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, even if they've been held in check in the postseason. Campbell has been better in run blocking, and he had 2 massive fumble recoveries versus the Texans. But Seattle will try to exploit him in passing situations. He's in the crosshairs. If New England can't stabilize protection, Drake Maye's day gets real uncomfortable. Number 4, I'm looking at elite versus elite. You got Christian Gonzalez and Jackson Smith-Njigba. The 2023 draft gave us 2 big-time players on a collision course. Patriots took Christian Gonzalez at the 17th overall. Seahawks took Jackson Smith-Njigba 3 picks later. Now they're 2 of the best at what they do. But do they shadow each other all game? We don't know. In the other NFL meeting back in 2024, Gonzalez only shadowed JSN on 2 routes, 0 targets, and mostly followed DK Metcalf. Metcalf is gone now, different coaching staff, and Seattle doesn't have another receiver like DK, so it's very possible Gonzalez gets asked to follow JSN more this time. In the last matchup, JSN tore them up for 112 yards, and it was mostly on Marcus Jones. JSN caught 4 passes for 42 yards and 7 targets across 19 matchups. This time it's probably a group effort. Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, Carlton Davis, plus safety help over the top to prevent explosives. And you can't sleep on Seattle's other weapons as well. Rashid Shaheed and Cooper Kupp both have made big catches in the playoffs. But let's be real. The guy that keeps defensive coordinators up at night is Jackson Smith-Njigba. Another factor that plays into the Super Bowl tomorrow is our quarterback play. Now let's talk about both of these quarterbacks, starting off with Drake Maye for the New England Patriots. Although he finishes the runner-up for MVP, Maye was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this season, even with a middling offensive line and a lackluster receiving crew. He led the league in QBR at 77.1, and the Patriots leaned on him. Plus 4% pass rate over expected. That's the second highest in the league. His strengths is accuracy. Plus 9% completion percentage over expected, highest in the NFL. Also the highest among QB seasons since the metric began in 2016. 12% off-target rate, that's 7th best. And while averaging 8.7 air yards per attempt, which is the 3rd most in the NFL, his weakness is sacks and ball security stress. 47 sacks, that's 4th most in the league. 8.8% sack rate, that's 5th worst. And 1.8% fumble rate, which is 3rd worst. Now for Seattle, you got Sam Darnold over here. In his season, it was like 2 halves, you know what I mean? So the first 10 weeks, 77.9 QBR, 9.3 yards per drop back. Week 11 on, 35.3 QBR, that's 27th. 6.3 yards per drop back, that's 15th. In the playoffs, he looked more like the first half version of the year. But which Sam Darnold shows up in the Super Bowl? His strengths, downfield passing when he's right. First 10 weeks, 9.4 air yards per attempt, highest among QBR qualifiers, plus 10% completion percent over expected, which was the best, and 4.2% sack rate in that span, avoids negative plays. His weakness is turnovers, 3.5% turnover rate, worst among QBR qualifying quarterbacks, clean in the 2 playoff games so far, but the concern is always there. And since we talked about the quarterbacks, we can't forget about the defenses here, because both of these defenses is nasty. Starting with the Seahawks defense, they pressure you without blitzing. Drake Maye has struggled versus elite defenses this postseason. 15 sacks in 3 games. 5 of those sacks caused fumbles. And most importantly, 6 of the 15 sacks came against a split safety look with no blitz. When Maye gets the ball off versus that look in the playoffs, 37.3 passer rating, 0 TDs, and 2 interceptions. Seattle lives there. Most dropbacks in the league with split safeties and no blitz, 322. From that look, they have a 1.8% TD rate allowed, 19 sacks, and 7 interceptions. Now for New England, their defense, look, the blitz rate jumped in the playoffs. Regular season blitz rate was 27.6%, slightly below league average. Postseason blitz rate is 40.6%. Pressure on blitzes is 44.4%. And Darnold versus blitz in the regular season, 8.9 yards per pass attempt, but also 7 interceptions, league high on those blitz dropbacks. And keep your eyes on the inside with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, can be game records with interior pressure. That middle push can collapse everything. Now for some stat nuggets for you guys, starting with the Seattle Seahawks. They won 9 straight, including the playoffs, longest active streak, second longest in franchise history. They won 11 in 2005. Sam Darnold is 0-4 versus the Patriots, second most losses without a win entering a Super Bowl matchup. Jackson Smith-Njigba seeks his 11th 100-yard receiving game, will tie for third most in the season in NFL history if he gets it on Sunday. And DeMarcus Lawrence, he has a sack and a forced fumble in both Seahawks postseason wins, will be the first player this century to do it again in the Super Bowl. Now, Seattle is the first team to lead the NFL in scoring defense and reach the Super Bowl since the 2016 Patriots. And those teams that led the NFL in scoring defense are 14-4 in the Super Bowl. Now, for the New England Patriots, they average 18 points per game this postseason, 4th fewest entering the Super Bowl all time since the 1979 Rams, who had 15 points per game. First team since 1970 merger to beat 3 of the top 5 total defenses en route to their Super Bowl appearance. They defeated the Chargers, who was ranked 5th, the Texans, who was ranked 1st, and the Broncos, who was ranked 2nd. New England has led at halftime in 17 of 20 games, tied with the 1984 49ers for the most in Super Bowl era. And Drake Maye has 129 scrambling rushing yards this postseason, 4th most by any quarterback in a single postseason in the past 20 years. And New England is 12-0, 14.5 points per game allowed when Christian Gonzalez and Milton Williams play, including the playoffs. So take with these stats as you may. Let's jump into how each team can win this game here. We're going to start with the Patriots' road to victory. Number 1, their positional advantage is the running backs. New England has to set the tempo with 2 dual-threat backs, Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. Stevenson led the NFL with 2.8 yards after contact per rush. Henderson brings perimeter juice with 18 rushes of 10 yards plus. And because Seattle plays a lot of zone, those backs can be real underneath outlets for Drake Maye. Number 2, my X factor for the Patriots has to be Marcus Jones, cornerback and also punt returner, kickoff returner. You'll mostly see him as the nickel corner, meaning he'll spend time on Cooper Kupp, but he might also have to see Jackson Smith-Njigba when Seattle puts him in the slot or in the backfield. Jones had been solid coverage this year, and his impact plays are real. Led the Patriots with 23 defeats, turnovers, tackles for loss, and conversion stops on 3rd and 4th down. 3 fumble recoveries, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, plus a 3rd pick he took to the house in the divisional round versus the Houston Texans. 2 sacks and 4 pressures as part of the blitz packages. In special teams, he was 2nd team All-Pro punt returner, 17.3 yards per return, and 2 touchdowns. My player to watch for New England has to be Will Campbell. Biggest test of his career, Seattle brings pressure from multiple errors, not just straight 4-man rush. Campbell was credited with 7 sacks allowed in the regular season, and he's got to handle stunts, delayed pressures, and blitz looks, the whole menu. This Seattle defense is tough. Now for the Seahawks, their road to victory, number 1, their positional advantage here is the secondary. This unit is speed plus physicality, played a league-high 815 nickel snaps, allow only 5.5 yards per attempt, can lean cover 2 to cap vertical shots, then mix in man looks to disrupt timing, corners Devon Witherspoon and Josh Jobe, plus rookie Nick Imanrori in the slot as a disruptor, with safeties Julian Love and Kobe Bryant over the top. Number 2, my X factor for the Seahawks is none other than Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver and also return threat here. Great trade they made with the Saints to bring him along. Shaheed is the most likely Seahawk to flip the game with 1 play, offense or special teams. In 11 games with Seattle, including the playoffs, he has 1 punt return for a TD, 2 kickoff returns for a TD, In the passing game, he was quiet in the regular season, 15 catches, 188 yards, no touchdowns. But he may see Carlton Davis III, who lead New England with 6 defensive pass interference penalties. So that's a potential swing right there. And my player to watch for Seattle, none other than, and I think he was snubbed on the defensive rookie of the year, Nick Emmanwori, safety / the nickel hybrid corner there. He's become one of Seattle's best defenders, hybrid wrap-up tackler, energy guy. He missed practice Thursday with an ankle issue, but he came back on Friday. He says he's good to go, but if he's not 100%, that affects Seattle's flexibility. All right, quick break. When we come back, I'm giving you the pick and why I'm riding that way. All right, y'all, it's about that time, man. Final pick of the NFL season, Super Bowl 60. Now, look, this pick says less about me thinking the Patriots are guaranteed to win outright and more about the game script and the number. There's a legit path for New England. There's also a path for Seattle to blow this thing open. And both paths start with the same thing, turnovers. Both quarterbacks have had turnover moments this year, and that's how Super Bowls get lopsided. One bad decision, one strip sack, one short field, and the whole game flips. But with 2 defensive-minded head coaches and 2 excellent defenses, this feels like a low-scoring bar fight. Seattle's defense is getting all the hype, rightfully so. But the Patriots' defense is quietly just as good. And I think the difference is inside. I'm expecting Milton Williams and Christian Barmore to get that interior pressure going. Y'all remember what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs last year against the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl? Milton Williams had his fingerprints all over that. That inside pressure, it collapsed the whole pocket for Patrick Mahomes. I'm thinking the same kind of thing happens here and makes Sam Darnold uncomfortable in the pocket. In the tight one, I think Drake Maye narrowly outplays Sam Darnold. So for my pick, and it's the reason why I got this sweatshirt on. First of all, I want to say shout out to Marlon Williams and I Love Boston Sports because, hey, brother, we all we got. We all we need. I'm rolling with the New England Patriots to win Super Bowl 60. Ring number 7 is coming home. Let's go! Now, that's the show. I had to switch my hat up. Pick recap. I'm taking the Patriots to win Super Bowl 60. Now, I need y'all to go do 2 things for me. Drop your picks in the comments. Patriots or Seahawks. Give me your score prediction. And make sure you follow Game Time with Hubb everywhere because we're getting back to wrestling, boxing, and basketball right after the Super Bowl. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me all season. 190, 93, and 1, 67.1%. We really did that, y'all. So until next time, man, look, enjoy the Super Bowl. We're going to be back with the recap. Whether the Patriots win or lose, we coming back with all the smoke and everything else, man. And I look forward to seeing all the smoke in the comments on YouTube and everybody saying, oh, you know what I mean? Look, I'm ready to hear it out, man. But until then, y'all keep it real. Enjoy this game tomorrow. And look, we might be live tomorrow night after the game. I'm just letting y'all know. Until then, man, we out, baby. Peace.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Game Time with Hubb. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss Game Time action. See you next time.